guys want a shot at winning a copy of Call of Duty World War II for the console of your choice for absolutely free? A couple of my friends and I are doing a little giveaway. Link is down there in the description below. Go check it out if you're interested. I'm a very positive person, but I'm not gonna try and deny it that Black Ops 3 on last generation was something of a bit of an eyesore. Now, whether or not you enjoyed it, whether or not you had the ability to upgrade to a current generation console or not, it is something of a fact that what we got is what we got. We can't go back and change the developmental process to try and optimize things better for the 360 and PlayStation 3. We can't go back and say, you know what, maybe we shouldn't have done this at all. We can't go back and change anything because what we have is what we have. It's just a fact of life. But while there were a ton of things that were seemingly negative about the game, such as no campaign, no DLC really, 30 frames per second, texturally not the most appealing visual showcase of graphics and everything like that, while there were so many things that a lot of people can try and pin on Black Ops 3 on last generation, to me I think there was one thing that was kind of a beacon of hope and a beacon of light that kind of was a good thing if you take a look at it in a sense. Now, out of all those things that we just mentioned that completely hinder the ability of last generation Black Ops 3, what could be that good that current generation console players could look back and say, you know what, that's actually awesome. That thing actually deals with DLC weapons. Now, this is where I think this starts a little bit of a discussion that might be a little favorable or unfavorable. Of course, it is nice to have new content here and there to keep the game rolling, and especially in year 2, giving us more incentive to play the game, log on, and maybe try and get something new that keeps the game fresh in a sense that doesn't necessarily require the most developmental attention that Treyarch needs to take away from their theoretical Black Ops 4 to make another DLC pack or anything like that for Black Ops 3, but instead can give players a little bit more of new content without, once again, taking away their focus on their next big project. That's something that's really cool, yes, but the downside of this that really makes it nice that last generation users did not have to be subjected to this was the whole fiasco with COD points, the black market, and everything like that, in which it really pushed that microtransaction system on the players, and realistically, a lot of people would not end up grinding out the game. The casual player would not spend hours a day trying to grind out for a couple supply drops to hope that they can get one of the new weapons. They just drop 20 bucks on COD points, see what their luck has to hold for them and everything like that. So when you take a look at it, with Black Ops 3 on last generation not having this, it's something we can almost appreciate at that point, because while yes, it did conflict with the developments of the game and the amount of memory that may or may not have been there to hold or not hold those weapons, it kind of worked out in the favor of the last generation players. They didn't have to buy into the system, they didn't have to try and grind out for new weapons, and I think that if there's ever a game in which thus far that we've seen a sort of supply drop system and market within Call of Duty, I think that Black Ops 3 is the absolute worst of those. And I think that as last generation players, not having to be subjected to that is definitely a win in that category. So whether or not you want to really attribute much of a positive to the last generation version of Black Ops 3, that's definitely something that I think is a nice takeaway. Now, of course, with the 360 and PlayStation 3 being completely abandoned with Infinite Warfare and Modern Warfare Remastered, and now Call of Duty World War II going forward, we won't have these sort of options to not see a supply drop system or a black market of any sort of kind like that, but at least the positive going forward is that it seems like Activision and the studios have kind of learned what works and what doesn't. The thing that I hated about Black Ops 3 supply drop system was that it was all one giant pool, where you didn't have segmented collections. It basically was new stuff thrown in on top of all the old stuff, and so every single supply drop you're guaranteed 3 out of thousands of items, no matter the rarity. So it really wasn't anything that worked out. When you take a look at the probability of 3 out of 1,000 compared to maybe say Modern Warfare Remastered's segmented collections, you had 3 out of maybe 200. So of course there is still no good way to put it if you're against supply drops and the system there within, but Black Ops 3's was by far the worst in terms of rewarding the player with what they actually wanted. So to have the last generation version not have that, that's that positive that I see here out of it. And so that said, that's where we're gonna wrap it up. I just want to touch on this because making that last generation Black Ops 3 video the other day, it really brought back some thoughts that I had about Black Ops 3 on last generation. I personally wasn't the biggest fan of it. I thought it was kind of quirky and funny to look at, but whenever I took a look at it actually being a product that players actually sat down and played, I started thinking about the positives and the negatives, and thus it was something that I think is worth noting, that while everything like this seemingly was bad, with they port to 360 and PlayStation 3, there was a little bit of a shining beacon of hope there. So that said, that's where we're gonna wrap it up. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Let me know your thoughts down there in the comment section down below. Do you guys think that this is perhaps one of the only good things here to come out of Black Ops 3 on Last Generation, or do you think it's something that is truly just a remarkable piece that they were, maybe not necessarily the word of blessed with, but the fact that it was one of those things that worked out well despite a situation that did not go all that well? Love to hear your thoughts down there in the comment section down below, but hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. And if you guys did, make sure you drop a like down below. And of course, if you guys aren't new to the channel, make sure you guys subscribe to stay up to date with everything we have here regarding Call of Duty World War II. Black Ops 3 we're almost done with, so if any of this stuff interests you, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss a beat. And finally, if you guys want to follow me over on Twitter, that's the best place to get connected with me outside of YouTube, but practically live on Twitter. So if you guys want to strike up a conversation, ask me a question, whatever it may be, link is down there in the description below. But all that said, now, I hope you guys have a fantastic day. Thanks so much for watching. Mine is an espresso. I'll see you guys later. Take care and peace.